And after seeing your portrayal of Danny, I think many people would like to give you a big hug.
Oh, thank you.
To Danny.
Everything that came afterwards. Couldn't be a coincidence, could it?
Get down on the ground! Brought in a kid last night. Might be something that interests you.
Danny, you don't really seem like a dangerous person. Can you tell me how you ended up here?
Loser.
小蜘蛛汤姆霍兰德告别蜘蛛人无家日后，陷入大转变，主演新作《拥挤的房间》。剧情改编自24个比利，他饰演的男孩丹尼因枪击案接受亚曼达席菲德调查，揭开他惊人的秘密。
I love a challenging role. I love putting myself in uncomfortable situations. I think that, acting is about pushing yourself. It's about trying new things. It's about trying to embody different people in different ways. And for me personally, The Crowded Room offered everything that I look for in a project. I thought the show was exciting. The idea of telling a story under the umbrella of the genre of a psychological thriller was really appealing to me. So it was a pretty easy decision to decide to do this. It was definitely very challenging, but I'm glad I took it on.
Since this story is inspired by the minds of Billy Milligan, so I'm curious that how did you respond to this book and how did it help to portray this character?
I think our show is very loosely based off of the book. I definitely read the book and watched the documentary and was really blown away by the story and by the power of the human mind and what we can do in order to survive. And we very quickly realized that it wasn't the story that we wanted to tell, so we decided to change. It was a great source of research for us, the book. There are lots of things in the show that are directly inspired from the book, but most of the show is really a piece of fiction.
小蜘蛛为了演新角色身心俱疲，最近还表示将停工1年。
And after seeing your portrayal of Danny, I think many people would like to give you a big hug.
Oh, thank you.
To Danny. And I'm curious that because I can clearly tell that you went for a dark way because of this role. So what did you do to break out of this character?
To be perfectly honest with you, we just stayed really focused. It was a really incredibly difficult character to play. Getting into that emotion on a daily basis was pretty intense. But in terms of decompressing and allowing myself some time to relax, I worked with all of my best mates. We were all living the dream in New York, and we would just hang out and go and play golf or go out for dinner. There were loads in ways in which we were hanging out, but decompressing was the easiest part of the job.
And do you want to do something lighter after this?
Yeah, maybe a rom-com or something different. I haven't done a rom-com before, but yeah, maybe something a little lighter.
What happened in that house? Where did they all go?
I have these blank spots.
From the acting standpoint, that I was so fascinated to play was that Raya is a mother, and she's devoted to her job, and she has a slightly complicated relationship with her mother. She has a slightly complicated relationship with the father of her child, and she's very, very ambitious, and she's very compassionate, but she's too good of a professor and not a good enough mother. She's not present enough in her personal life, and that's a struggle. That's something to overcome.
You and Tom, you are sitting across the table, and it's like the battle of wits and mind. And I'm curious that did you rehearse those scenes?
Some information throughout each scene in that room with Danny, and Raya's kind of pulling it out of him, and she's feeling for him, and she's like a safe space for him, but she's not a safe space for herself, and you see that juxtaposition often, especially by I think episode 6, when you really kind of dive into Raya's personal life. And then you start to really unravel what it is that she's struggling with the most, and how Danny, she's helping him as much as he's helping her, and you see that dynamic play out, and then by the end of the show, you're just hopefully really invested in their relationship, because it's the most solid relationship in the show.
What are you not telling me? What are you not telling yourself?
Did you see